Hey, test 1 2 1 2. Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Pro Trade Room Plus and the Wasde Report. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, I am not a financial advisor. All the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures. Okay, let's get ready to rumble. You're not supposed to say that. Let's get ready for Wasde. Let's get ready to Wasde. Okay, so we do have a WASDE report. Not everybody knows what that is. What is a WASDE report? So a WASDE report is a grain report. And it's released once a month. And we're going to look at some videos that'll give us an idea of what this WASDE report does and how it behaves. And I do want to thank everybody on YouTube for joining with us today. So thank you. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so let's look at a couple of things. We have our daily market mover trade report on the WASDE. I got to get my charts onto the WASDE charts. Now, if you've never traded the grains before, no worries. They're just exactly the same as any other futures contract, so you don't have to even think about it. There's no extra preparation, nothing extra that you have to worry about. So we're going to have a soybean trade, ZS 1124. That's the instrument. Soybean, ZS 1124. And then we're also going to have a corn trade. Corn is ZC 1224. So what I'm going to do is set up my corn trade first, because I'm going to do a trap trade on corn. Now, one interesting thing about the Wasde report is the Wasde report does have a tendency to reverse. So keep that in mind. And that's one reason why I'm interested in trying the trap trade on corn. Trap trade is a special trade that we anticipate we're going to get a reversal in the price. So I've got this set up down here. If you notice, down here at the bottom, trap trade set up on our corn daily market mover. So I've got a stop of 20 ticks, and I've got tiers of 12 and 20. 12 and 20 are my tiers. My stop is 20. Sorry, let me, we're going to wind up with 8,000 contracts. Position size 1, let's backtrack. Position size 1 is a 1. Okay, let's start over. On our trap trade, position size 1 is a 1. Position size 2 is a 1. That means we're going to trade one contract for each order, each tier. Our stop is 20 ticks. Now, tier 1 is 12 ticks, not 12 contracts. Tier 2 is 20 ticks, not 20 contracts. The time of our event, it's a noon report. But the way our software works, we're going to do 11:59:55 if you're running the current version of the software. If for some reason you have an earlier version of the software and it mentions anything about prep seconds, that's fine. Just put 5 in the prep seconds, 5 seconds, and the time of the event is 12 noon Eastern time exactly. Okay, that's all there is to it. And I'm going to label this ZC, ZC, and I know ZC is going to be my trap trade. And let me just make sure I'm on the right account that I want to be on. Yes. Okay, so trading corn, trap trade in one of my prop accounts. So that trade is ready to go. So I don't have to spend a lot of time on the corn part of the trade. Either we're going to get a reversal and a decent move out of corn or we're not. What we've been seeing is over the past year, at least I would say, corn hasn't been moving as much. Corn hasn't been moving, but lately it's started to pick up a little bit, a little bit. Last month, the trap actually went outside of our tiers. That was the first time in quite a while we've been getting some nice movement out of corn. Does that mean you could trade a corn breakout? I don't think the moves are big enough yet in corn because look, if you notice, it was 26 ticks on the DMM. 26 tick move. It is the biggest move we've had in 6 months on corn, but last month was only 12. The previous month was 25. I don't think you're going to get a lot of slippage on corn, so I don't think there's that much of a worry about slippage. You can trade the trap, okay? You can if you want to. Personally, I think I like the trap better, but if you want to trade, I mean the breakout, you could trade the breakout. There is a setup. We have 2 setups for this report. It's a bracket of 7 activate at 11:59:59. Targets are 7 and 17 with a stop of 15. If you figure that your second target is 17, and your bracket is 7, that's 24 ticks, right? That's pretty close to the biggest move this report's had in 6 months. So, you might want to make your second target 15, or you know what? I have no problem leaving my target there. The more I think about it, if corn all of a sudden is starting to move more, then leave the target where it is if you're going to do the breakout. I would definitely use the feature in the software target one stop move, and I'll show you everything I'm talking about when I set up our soybean trade. It relates to the corn breakout exactly. Soybeans, there's no question that over the past 6, 7 months, Wasde has gotten smaller. The moves are not as dramatic, but we're also not in planting season, and we're in the quieter Wasde time period. So we did see a nice move last month, which is great. So I'm perfectly okay running our trap trade on Wasde soybeans. So I'm going to click JOBB version 11. It's a breakout trade. The time of the event is 11:59:59. And this is exactly what you would do for the corn breakout if you choose a corn breakout. The brackets are different, so make sure you know the differences. 12 is our soybean bracket. And then our targets on soy, anywhere between 8 and 30, I think makes sense. Anywhere between 8 and 30 is reasonable. You don't have to copy my exact targets. There's no reason to copy my exact targets. You know that the market moved 43 ticks last time. It moved 28 ticks 3 months ago on a previous winner, 30 ticks a couple of months ago before that on another previous winner. So you could see with a bracket of 12, a target shouldn't be all that much bigger than 21. Now, if we are moving into bigger moves, that would be real nice. And you can always manage out of a trade. So having a big second target is fine, but be prepared to manage out of the trade, meaning you may have to move your target, you may have to move your stop. However you personally manage out of your trade is going to determine, what your second target could be. It's possible. Our stop is 20 ticks. And target one stop move, I use that feature. I set it to BE -3. That means break even -3. And the reason for that is because this report definitely has a tendency to reverse. And if it does reverse, I want to protect my profit on my first target. So I'm going to label the trade ZSBRK, is soybean breakout, ZSBRK. I'm going to check the width of my bracket by setting my time to 0.
Order canceled.
Now, I want to put my software on sim, okay, so I can see my breakout size. I'll show you what I
Order
mean.
submitted.
I can see my brackets, okay? Now we're in a pretty tight range, so I'm not that worried about orders being placed right at the high.
Order canceled.
It's very possible that we're in a tight range because this particular market is waiting for this particular report. That would not be a surprise. 11:59:59 on our trade activation time. So now we have to pick our account that we're trading in. Let me make sure I'm in the right one. We'll know in a second. Our time is back to normal, 11:59:59. Nope, I don't want to trade in that one. I'll trade in number 5. Okay, so one more time. The soybean breakout. Right click the chart, click on strategies, and thank you, Roz. It's 58 on the breakout, not 59. It really doesn't matter 95% of the time, but I like to trigger 2 seconds early. 11:59:58. Love when you all in the room are alert and paying attention. Thank you. Nobody is perfect. I'm close, but not perfect. Bracket is 12, targets of 8, 8 and 25 to 30 is what the second target should be, somewhere between, I would say, 15 and 30-ish. Target one stop move if you so choose to protect your first profit. If it hits target one, the stop is 20. And I'm set for my soybean breakout trade. Okay, now I'm absolutely setting up a second trade on my soybean chart for continuation reversal, and I will look to reverse my soybean trade if I can be that organized, and also manage my corn trap trade. So I may not have the ability to manage 3 trades. I'm not that perfect. And I'll explain what I mean. So I'm setting up the trade type. I'm right clicking the chart, clicking on strategy, clicking on trade type, and I'm choosing reversal continuation. And I'm just trading one position. My target's going to be 18 ticks with a 15 tick stop. And I'm going to slide down. I'm going to label it reversal. And I'm going to trade it. And I'll double check that I'm in the same account. When you enable a reversal continuation trade, you get your buttons for an instant long or an instant short, okay? You get your buttons for an instant long or an instant short. That allows you to trade after the news a reversal continuation, right? That's what we're looking to do. After my breakout is over, I want the opportunity to possibly take a reverse direction trade on soybeans. All right. So I've got my soybean breakout and I've got my reversal. The buttons get a little wacky. Okay. So I've got actually 3 setups. All right. I've actually got 3 setups. The most important setup to me is the breakout, the soybean breakout, because I feel the soybean breakout is going to give me my best opportunity for profit. I do also want to thank everyone who's so nicely giving us your time and watching us on YouTube. Hit the like button, thank you, and enjoy the stream. Thanks for coming. So I'm going to triple check because this morning I had my accounts all goofed up. Just want to make sure I'm on the right account for my breakout. And for my reversal. Let me see if I can see them both. And I can. Okay. And then we are doing our trap trade on corn on the right chart. Now, trap trades usually need management. Okay. So, couple of things. Remember what we said about the trap trade. What do we always say about the trap trade? Make sure your chart's wide enough so you can see the combine button. That's why I just moved
It's
everything
really annoying
over a
when
little
everyone
bit.
often posts says government boat
I want to
coming,
make sure
can
I can
come at
see
any
that
time.
combine button. On a trap trade, you have a break even button that will move your stop to break even if you press it. If you're in a profitable trade, you have a close button, close the trade. Adjust the tiers, which we don't do in these days. That's part of an old setup, but it's nice to, if you understand the trap trade version 1, if you go to the 10 Minute Trades website, watch an old video, it'll give you some insight about the adjust button, but we don't need it now. Cancel the outer tier is an important button because if we get filled just on one order, we have two orders set up on the trap trade, but if only one fills, we may want to cancel our second order, the outer tier, so we can move our stop to safety. So that's something that you want to be able to do it real easily with a little button rather than fumbling around on the chart. It's a nice way to do it. I thought it might be interesting to take a look at Wasde a year ago. This is Wasde a year ago. Looking at the corn setup, we had a breakout with a slightly bigger bracket and a similar stop. And our soybean was a bigger bracket, pretty significant, 12 versus 20, and a bigger stop by 10 extra ticks. Okay. I thought the Phillies fired their manager. They didn't. Okay. Um, this was a year ago. This was August. This is a video within a video. So this is interesting. It's a little less than, it's a little more than a year ago. The August move, we made quite a bit of profit on that. It did do a very fast reversal. You couldn't have traded that reversal. Notice that 14 months ago, corn was having pretty good size moves. I know you believe me when I say as of late, for us it has not been. Corn has shrunk its moves for whatever reason, but it is seemingly getting a new life. This was October of 23. October of 23. A very solid move on Wasde. Okay? And again, corn, little whippier if you notice. Definitely a whippier move. Just watching the quality of that corn move. Pretty good also. All right, both moves very nice. Notice those quick reversals. Notice those quick reversals. So I'm going to try to keep my wits about me. But I do have multiple setups, so it's
Seeing here from
possible I could
Barak
miss the
Brazil on
reversal.
X,
This was last
Secretary
month's
Gallup spoke on the
WASD.
phone last night after a cabinet meeting with US Defense Minister Austin and discussed with him the issue of Israeli response against Iran, according to a source familiar with the contents of the conversation.
Now, I would like to see a nice big move. Not so big in corn because we don't want corn to blow our stops, right? So we don't want a giant move in corn. We had a very nice move on the breakout trade. Okay. It was nice and solid on the breakout. Good solid move. The trap trade on corn. Let me get to the right month. So hold on. Let me keep going. Make sure I'm in the right month. Okay, September. Yep. There was some slippage. You can see it. All right. But price went beyond the slippage. You can see it there as well. Corn blew us out of our trade. The trap trade is bigger on corn. So I'd like to think that our trap trade will be safe on corn. Okay. Our setup, zone of safety, we have tiers of 12 and 20. The stop is 20. We have not had a 40 tick move in corn in a long time. So you never know 100% if your setup is perfect, but I'm counting on the analysis being good, and I'm definitely counting on our analysis working. That's what we do, and we trust our setups. So we have 5, 6 minutes. Let's look at another previous Wasde trade. Let's look at May. Let's look at June. I've got June handy. So like I said before, the first thing I'll do is I'll pay attention to my trap trade, but I'll trade the breakout because the breakout has the opportunity for more profit. And it's got a bigger stop. In general, it's got more risk, it's got more profit, I want to manage my breakout first, but on the corner of my eye, I'll be watching the trap. I'll make sure that the orders are being placed properly. And I'll make sure that if I need to cancel my outer tier. Now in June, it was kind of quiet. It was slow. I should say it was a slow reaction. Neither instrument has moved, nor corn nor soy. At the moment, I'm still thinking the news might not be out because you don't have a reaction from either instrument. Is it
Just a
pronounced
reminder, at the
either
top there we
or
have the
either?
USD ending,
Anybody want
USD
to
penny stocks,
chime in on that?
soybean, corn, and wheat.
Is it either or either? So not much of a reaction in June. We hung out for as long as we could. And I actually waited more than a minute, which normally I wouldn't do. And it barely got out. We got out flat. There was just nothing to get in June. So I don't think that our move will be this small. I don't think the move will be quite that small. So I'll be keeping an eye on my trap. I've got a reversal. I've got a two-fisted handstand I'll be taking. And I'll be jumping into the swimming pool after the breakout trade is over. Either way, we've got a whole bunch of setups. The breakout of soybeans is on the left. Possible reversal on soybeans on the left.
So reminder for
Trap
corn and
trade on
stocks
corn on the right.
forecast
I
to hit
noticed that Financial
1,891
Juice
million
has
by
started covering the
2,157
Wasde
million,
report again.
and soybean and stocks forecast
They went for a period where they
corn and
covered it
soybean
and then they
and
stopped
stocks
and now they're
forecast
covering it again.
547 million, prior 550 million. Wheat and stocks forecast
It's a
878
complicated
million,
report.
prior 828
If you've
million.
ever looked at the
And
Wasde
cotton and
report,
stocks
if you Google
forecast
Wasde
4
report, it's
million,
a
prior
government,
4 million.
it's a Department of Agriculture report. It has a lot to do with planting the various grain commodities, corn and soybeans and wheat and cotton. And, you know, being a farmer, the son of a farmer, I'm extremely knowledgeable about all of those things. My family goes way back, farmers in Long Island, where I grew up. It's called suburban farming. Anyway, we've got about a minute and 20 seconds to go. So we'll watch the markets. You can see corn is moving one tick there. Each one of those little moves is a tick.
I'm meant to go to get the end of stocks.
All right, so we're just patiently waiting. All right, our brackets will show up about 2 seconds before the news officially is supposed to be released. We know this report because Wasde really has never been on the calendars before. Normally, we don't know when the report is released.
10 seconds.
But I'm hearing in my headset Wasde.
Order submitted.
So
Order
it's
submitted.
possible that we'll know exactly when it comes out. It's out.
1,999 million.
The report is out.
Corn and stocks.
I can tell you definitively, the report is out.
Order submitted.
I'm letting it fill. I mean, it's not a guarantee it's going to work.
Higher than forecast of 4 million.
It's not a very big burst.
Total wheat and stocks.
My first target is not very big. Okay? It's not very big. If the price decides to change direction now, I'm going to get stopped out. The corn trade barely did anything. It barely did anything. I'm going to let that fill also. If it hits my position, I'll let it fill because I believe it will reverse. I believe corn will reverse. Now, soybeans, I was going to grab a tiny profit. It's just not moving. I'm going to combine my orders.
Order filled.
And just take a small profit and say goodbye. That's not the way Wasde works. Didn't do much. I'll cancel corn trap.
Order canceled.
Cancel soybean breakout, which we already made a couple of bucks on. There's not a whole lot to reverse here. Now, you could say maybe I got out. I could have waited here. It looks like it wants to test the low. Let's see if it tests the low and fails, and I'll buy the low. If it touches the low, I'll buy the low. If I missed it by one tick, I'm going to be aggravated. I'm just watching. If it doesn't go back and test the low, I missed it. I missed it. I missed it. So it's a chase now because it wasn't a very big move. So it's an unknown, and we're real tight in terms of highs and lows of the day. We're really sitting tight between them. There's not a lot of move to reverse. So that's why I really wanted to wait for it to get to that low. As we get further and further away from the time of the report, the move that we're expecting becomes less meaningful. The question is, do I still want to try that reversal? There's pretty heavy downward pressure on the squeeze. On that 30-second chart, my gut feeling, corn is also pushing down. I'm not jumping in yet. I want to see if it breaks that low. If it just sits there, it just broke it. I'm definitely interested. It's printing hard down though, so I don't like to squeeze printing hard down. I'm not jumping. I'm not jumping yet. Now, if you would have stayed in the breakout, you could still be profitable on the breakout. So either way, the breakout was pretty solid. It just took too long.
Order submitted.
I'll take this risk for a small reversal. It's right at the low. I could blow it. Okay, I'll get out before the PP. We see so many reversals on Wasde. Corn already reversed a little bit. If it fails, then it fails. Okay, if it's giving me a little bit of bucks here,
Order filled.
I'll take it. So we wound up making over 120 bucks on Wasde. Took a little tiny baby reversal. And that's the Wasde for today. Does anybody have any questions? Tell me what you did out there if you traded it. This was like squeezing blood from a stone. But look, everything I did worked. The breakout worked. You got to be more patient than me, okay? The reversal worked. Everything that I said would happen happened. The trap trade on corn didn't go far enough. I really just didn't see it, okay? Ironically, it would have filled and you'd have a couple of dollars profit. It wasn't very much. All right, so folks are telling me what they did. Sander, you tried. Yes, the microcorn does not have a lot of liquidity, Sander, right? So I don't think I would trade that um, micro corn. I don't think I would trade it in live. I just don't think it has enough liquidity. Okay, so Roz, you made a couple of bucks. That's cool. Better to make a little bit. See you next week. We have a lot going on next week. Anybody else out there trade? If you want to type in what you did, I'd love to hear it. I want to thank everybody on YouTube for watching us. I hope you learned something about the Wasde trade. The Wasde trade often gives us reliable behavior. It was just very muted today. I thought the breakout, I thought when looking at it, it probably was going to go test the low. So bad on me to get out so fast, but I made those couple of extra ticks back on the reversal. So I'm okay. Could have made a little bit more. You can always make a little bit more in retrospect because you could see the way you should have traded it. That's how it goes. Okay? That's how it goes. But good to see that everybody that traded, I'm sorry that you lost on the reversal, made money on the breakout. So like I said, I wanted to thank everyone on YouTube for watching. Hit the like button on your way out. I'm going to hit the stop streaming button, and I'll see everybody on YouTube next week. Thank you very much, YouTube. See you next time.